Folks, we live in a world of indifference in this world, and I want to take a side step away from the hockey stuff and the NFL stuff because recently I did a thing on TikTok, and I don't jump on TikTok very often, but it's just mostly for just dumb pictures and Gen X stuff as well. But I vented for 10 minutes on what people want to bark about because of the Olympics. Well, I'm just going to do it on this channel right here and make it official. So let's not waste any time. Let's just go to it. Hit the intro. And as always, if you enjoy everything that we have done in this channel, all to for 1 year that we have done it, there is that thing. There's that thing called subscribe button. Definitely hit that if you want to be alerted for more of those crazy hot takes and all the wonderful stuff and opinions and everything else that we do. We do appreciate you for hanging us for 1 year, but I am not going to waste any time because let's just get to the intolerable gist of this entire thing before I even hit everything else. First of all, this is a world of 8.5 billion people, and it seems like three-quarters of it have to have an opinion about something and want to bark about it on the interweb. And we like to call it the internet, interweb, the info superhighway. But those people, whether they become Karens or not, or they just hide in the basement of, we like to use that little troll anomaly, but or whatever it is. But they always seem like they have to be right at everything, and that's a word of tolerance we have in this world. Can't fight them. You have to tolerate them, especially Gen X boomers. We have to tolerate those. The majority of those people, we have to tolerate the millennials and the Gen Zs and even the alphas who are hiding somewhere believing that they are right about every single godforsaken thing. And that includes the recent wonderfulism, if you want to call it a world, of the Olympics that happened in Paris. Now, I don't want to make this toy, but this is going to be a very thorough video because this is going out to a lot of people that think they're right about everything and they want to have some sort of political thing. Now, I am not a political person. I tried my best not to go into that realm, especially during a year of the election. Paris, the viewings for NBC, and NBC's never losing the Olympics. 86% growth of Olympics, more than Tokyo in 2021. I wonder why. Because Tokyo had the pandemic. They even delayed it a year to 2021. Never went away. We were still dealing with a worldwide pandemic, regardless if anybody believed it or not. And when you're on the other side of the world, it's hard to view stuff 3 o'clock in the morning. And right now, as I do this video, we're talking probably 19-hour difference. It's hard to stay awake and try to get up in the morning to try to see the USA basketball team win or the volleyball team or your track and field star or the gymnastics. It's hard. But Tokyo deserved the Olympics. They haven't had since 64, 64, 68. I have help me out if whichever it was. But they deserved it. A worldwide city that can host the Olympics and have the revenue to do it. They deserved it, but they lost a lot of money because of COVID, and it's hard. It's hosting the Olympics is hard, difficult, all that stuff. Have to have the resources for it. But Paris, on the other hand, had it before, definitely deserved to have it. And just look at this. Just look at these pictures that I have. That is the beach volleyball stadium that was built outside of the Eiffel Tower. You can't make that up. That's probably one of the prettiest sites of the entire Olympics. I mean, it was the beach volleyball, of course. And of course, they had to tear it down because you go on a normal life until the Paralympics shut on. That was one of the best photos of the entire Olympics. And another thing is they were different than everybody else. They were the first Olympics to ever hold their opening ceremony outside of the stadium, and the march of the athletes were all on boats on the Seine River. Very, very clever. They had to organize this and also pay a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money, to clean that river. That's been a long time. But it was good enough to do some sports, and I know they fetched a lot of money, and France gets the last boat because they were the host, and the U.S. and Australia had the next to last because they are, in fact, the next two Olympics. But that was a very innovative thing that they did. And so many things like Lady Gaga shows up. She does stuff. Um, more of the more of the boats and the scene on the other side on the river, and it was pouring down rain. I mean, that was the first Olympic opening ceremony to rain since Helsinki. Go back and look that up. Um, if it was small countries, remember there's going to be over 200 now. If you're small countries, they put a couple of them on one boat. If you had major stuff, you had one small boat. But very interesting the fact how they did that and be pouring down rain with some of the stuff that was going on. It was amazing to watch. Uh, even though it was Paris and it was the one time that decided to rain, but you give credit where credit is due. What about that heavy metal band that was at that one prison with the Marie Antoinette thing? That was crazy, and that for a lot of people stole the show. Um, that was nuts. That was go find it on YouTube or anything else. That was an intense, and you give credit also to a lot of the dancers on there too, because pouring down rain, nobody messed up. That was another huge thing. I what about all the other things the like the horse that brought in on the stage that brought the Olympic flag in? That was another huge piece of it. The light show at the end, and here I am. I'm just going through some stuff. This was one of the coolest things. Of course, they had to clean the river to do this piece, and this is the arrival of the Olympic flag, and then they just do the separate piece to bring this in. I mean, they pretty much looked at every possible scenario to have the next stage. And what about this character who was running across the entire city on the rooftops with the torch? That pretty much close to an Assassin's Creed character. It told a story, and that's kind of one of the reasons you watch the opening ceremonies. It tells a story, and you had to watch him flip and do stuff all over the place. I mean, of course, they filmed this a long time ago, but he went through like the Arc, he went through a couple of the big buildings, he went through the Louvre, and this was a great piece to watch. Um, just to see this piece right here, just watching stuff going through the river. That is a symbolic piece right here. And I'm just going through other pieces of that. Now, this part right here was supposed to kind of like mimic the Last Supper and that. I am not even going to get into that rubbish because I've heard everything about the internet about what it is. Probably may have been the worst part of the Olympics, and I am just going to move on because nobody cares. You want to bark about the Olympics? Fine. You want to bark about one little thing about the Olympics? I guess the interweb is your platform to do it. But, even Trump said it was disgraceful, and we don't care. It's the Olympics. You have to remember this happens every 4 years. Now every 2 years because it's winter, then Olympic, then summer, then winter, and summer. It's supposed to be the worldwide congregation of peace through sports. Everybody has their own version of what they want to put on with the Olympic ceremony. Of course, that piece is never going to be 2008 drummers in Beijing in 2028. Let's just put it that way. Let's move on. How about how cool was the cauldron? That is, from what we are told now, that is that from well, it was a nice little Olympic flame there. Some people really think that was fake. It was actually lights and smoke and a little bit of flame, but it was also a resemblance of the first ever helium balloon that was back in the early days that France discovered. So it was brought up in the air during the evening, brought down and brought up for the evening, and it was a nice little change of pace for the Olympic cauldron. And then we're never ever going to forget this. Don't ever forget that Celine Dion shows up at the end after the cauldron was lit, and she absolutely killed it. Now, for the Gen Z Alpha and late millennial people who don't know Celine Dion, start looking her stuff up. She was like the queen of modern ballads, and she did great hits, fantastic hits. She didn't blow up until Titanic in '99, but the thing about Celine Dion, and I wasn't a crazy Celine Dion fan myself. But I'm telling you right now, after what she's gone through with the stiff person syndrome that she's been dealing with, and the loss of her husband, the loss of her partner, and people succumb to that disease too. Unfortunately, this girl killed it at 56 years old. And I am not going to jump on anything else major, but I will say this: if I had a tier list for some of the greatest female vocalists, female singers in the world, I'm going to tell you right now, this might be a very, very weird scenario. Whitney Houston would be number one. She might be 1A after how she killed us, after what she's able to overcome. And that might be a very hard opinion, and I might do a tier list on that down the road. But with the look at the rain on the, I mean, look at it's just, I don't know what to tell you on that one. And then we go into the cooler significant stuff of, well, USA women's basketball, they just keep winning. They just find ways to do whatever they have to do. They barked about why Caitlin Clark wasn't on the team, and they still won. They barely beat France. And since of that, I keep going with this. This Steven Nadorosek. Forgive me if I'm mistaken his name. He's a Penn State guy. He's a Penn State guy, and his only job for the U.S. national men's gymnastics team was the pommel horse, and he got him a bronze. Congratulations to him. God forbid Steph Curry just keeps winning. He didn't do very much in the Olympics, but in the last two games, got the men another gold, beating France. Teddy Riner is an absolute beast, and he won another gold medal for France in judo. And if you didn't watch his final, he is an absolute terror. You have to go look him up. I'm just going to speed through this. Look at Katie Ledecky, just keeps winning. That's all she ever does, is she just keeps winning. I don't know if Katie's coming to LA in 4 years. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's the same thing with Simone Biles, because she keeps winning, and she just announced that she's having twins, I think. So that's a beautiful thing. So give Katie Ledecky her flowers, and then all the fun stuff that you ever saw during everything. Look about when the Italians won gold, and the Chinese girl. She sees. I mean, she's 18 years old, but doesn't know about the biting thing, and then she just sees it, and then she goes right into it. That was a heartwarming piece. And give credit. And I think, if I remember correctly, in this, you might have to find me on this. Rafael Nadal, the great tennis player, is famous for biting the trophies, and I'm guessing that's where that came from. That's my guess. What about, remember this guy, the Turkish guy who just put his hand in his pocket? Yusuf Deshik, and he got silver. Give this guy some break. Another picture of the the beach volleyball court, and this guy I can't remember where he came from off the top, but that was a performance, and then he just jumped off his surfboard. They had the surfing exhibition thing. I mean, he still got a gold medal for it, but they had it in the Tahitian Islands, which is that's where that came from. The Swedish guy who broke the world record for the pole vault, you give him some props. And I just had a whole bunch of other ones. And then here was the actual count. And I don't know if I can bring this in or not. I think I can bring it out a little bit. They tied with China, but boy, they had 126. 126. Most medals that the U.S. has ever had since 84. And who hosted in 84? U.S. did. Who hosted in the next 4 years? The U.S. will. And I just going through a lot of stuff that I had to pick out. Honorable mention goes to Ray Gunn. Unfortunately, the time when breakdancing became an exhibition, and she was given a 0. But I give credit, because this girl is. I saw her video. It was okay. It was good, but it wasn't great. But she's known in her country for this stuff. And I've hearing stuff about, she was part of the selection committee and whatnot, and whatever. I don't nobody cares, but people are just roasting this character and just making her a gigantic meme. And I know there's part of it that's saying it's pretty tough on her, but there's part of her that's actually saying I don't care, it's my style or whatever. So it's a little bit of an honorable mention to it. But I'm really entirely sick and tired of just hearing everybody bark about something on the Olympic scale because everybody wants to find something to just complain about. And it's really, really, first of all, it's getting old. Let's just drop it. We celebrate the Olympics every 2 years, winter and summer. And in 2 years, we got to go to Milano, Italy, Codini, Italy, for the Winter Olympics, in which the U.S. are trying to win a gold medal in hockey, and they haven't done it since 1980, if I remember correctly. But just think of the cohesion of trying to have peace in the world. It's tough because Russia was not in the Olympics here. I don't think UK. I don't know if Ukraine was or not. Message me if they were, with all the crap that was going on. There was a lot of things that happened. Like Botswana got their first gold medal. Saint Lucie, whatever that small island they got a track thing. They got a track medal. There was a lot of firsts this year, and in a way of speaking, it just circulates into the happiness that people bring in to the Olympics. And I know there's younger people going, why do we even have to have the Olympics? And when there's older people saying nobody wants to host them because they cost too much money, and all the places they have, they never use them anymore, and they become, go look at Athens, go look at Rio, go look at all the other old venues. They're getting deserted, and that's why nobody wants to host the Olympics hardly these days. Well, LA is going to have it, and LA is going to be fine because they're the fifth biggest economy in the world. They're going to be fine. They're going to host the opening ceremonies in SoFi. They're going to have the track team back at the LA Coliseum, and they're probably going to do swimming in SoFi, from what I'm told. So you got that. You get the French Alps hosting the winter again, and French Alps hosting the winter after that, and then Brisbane, Australia gets the Olympics. Well, Australia gets the Olympics again. Salt Lake City gets the winter again, and then there's right now a bid for India getting them in 2038, maybe, but or 36 or something. I can't remember what it was. But guys, I don't want to get into a political thing. What was your favorite part of the Olympics? Because they're gone, they're past. NBC doesn't get them again until 2 years. So I'll shut this bar down. I've done enough. I've done enough talking. I hope the editor can clip whatever he can clip because my head is pounding right now. So by all means, wherever that is, you made it to the end of this video. I do appreciate you hanging out, but do me a favor. I'm closing this bar today, so by all means, hit that subscribe button so I can definitely see you guys back here so we can do some extra fun stuff in the next one. And yeah, this is put a little toll on me. I'm gonna go take a nap. Peace out, and you got it.